I'll get round to explaining why I'm showing atom bomb tests. Just as every Egyptologist knows geologist Dr. Robert Schoch, every ufologist knows a military geologist who shall remain nameless for the reason of three-letter vested interests under the strings of Clinton UFOlogy. Since Obama was allowed to say Vimanology exists but the ology suffix is to be unknown, then the humble mathematician who knows there has to be advanced exopolitical life feels redemption, despite the photographical evidence allowed for the public remains grainy. The aforementioned genius gave proof of his father's military and engineering acumen, along its line claiming the Navy invention of super-high shutter-speed photography, resulting in frame-by-frame spotting of flying objects. Although Bikini Atoll images were mentioned, they seem to be part of the stolen evidence after his son's murder. I hereby exhibit my theory of a recent USSR release to hold the same. I doubt anyone else spotted these in frame of the released Rosatron video of the Tsar bomber exploding in the bottom right. My theory in question, first revealing themselves in the top left, mere glowing pixels, yes, but studying the following sequence of frames, one can see they have a trajectory and plan around the observation of this world's biggest bomb in modern history. That's 50 megatons of TNT, equivalent, that's trinitrotoluene energy. I'm not talking about random fibers, cracks, hairs, or dirt on celluloid. Not flying nagas or sarpas. If I wanted to talk about giant lengths of tether being invested by so-called Santa Clauses, debris, stray light, anomalies, and ice crystals, then I would use this NASA tether video.
100 nautical miles.
Well, the long line is a tether, and there's a little bit of debris that kind of flies with us, and it's illuminated by the sun at such low angles. There's a lot of stray light, and it's getting washed out quickly, but Rod is trying to do a quick, good job here adjusting the cameras.
My theory shows two orbicular objects flying in formation, like how a schooling fish, piloted Air Force, or double sighting shows. I call this frame 1, the initial flash. Frame 2, the orbs would be behind clouds or camouflaged part. If anyone wants to investigate with a better slow-mo, you would be able to judge the distance traveled more accurately. I take this frame I saw next to during free editing software as a between frame between the orbs are seen again, a split second later. Notice the atom blast is nicely spherical in this frame and slightly highlights the cloud strata above it. And here they are in frame 3, observation point reached, just slightly farther apart than their original flying formation, and their latitudinal position reversed in order, while their longitudinal naturally is closer to the bomb blast, either side of its center, just like modern military drones position themselves according to their target for good viewing angle. My blue tags are to show their next frame trajectory as they split away to what I would call their safe zone, bearing in mind the pilot who dropped this bomb, slowed by a parachute, had only 50-50 chance of surviving by gunning it 45 kilometers away. Penultimate frame 4, the lower altitude orb flees northeast. I call the other behind cloud or in camouflage again. I'm not merely speculating. Camo is presented within the ancient Vimana Shastra, as well as the speeds described as the speed of the mind, or even faster than gods can ascertain the direction. As for G-force survival, no problem. As an engineering boss stated, I quote, "Just put a magnet field over the engine, the cockpit, and the ship," end quote. Also bear in mind the CEO of a top air defense organization who said, I quote, "Think of Star Wars or anything you can imagine. We have already made it," end quote. Final frame 5, the higher altitude orb appears again. One could say it is at an angle for reflected light. It flees northwest, while its wingman will be further east, out of shot. Like or subscribe, happy hunting, and I'd love to read your opinions or investigations into this matter.